And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus on this Monday, January 5th, 2026. Hope everybody had a wonderful holiday, both Christmas and New Year's. A lot of people back to work today, and boy, oh boy, it is a foggy one out there. In fact, a little bit of freezing fog in some areas. Temperatures in the upper 20s across much of the area, and we're really not going to move much today. We're going to keep with the fog around. And again, there's going to be pockets of dense fog as well. That will last through tonight. Now, as temperatures slide off tonight, back into the teens, we're going to be worried about the freezing fog. So, might have some slippery travel if you're going to be out and about tonight and into early tomorrow morning. With some of that freezing fog, you're going to have some slippery roadways expected around here. So keep that in mind as we head into tonight and for your morning commute tomorrow as well. But there is warmer weather in the forecast, and I'll have more on that a little bit later. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, along with our Ag Director, Bridgette Readel. Did you have a good New Year, Bridgette?
Absolutely. Yep. So I think one of the things many of us would like to see is the sun come back out
Yeah.
because that would really help with some of this freezing fog. And the hoarfrost is pretty, but some sunshine would be super. Really wouldn't mind that.
Yes, it was, these cloudy, foggy days, doesn't it kind of just, it's fitting for a Monday, I guess, but it would be nice to see a little more sunshine, like you said, and there's not a whole lot in the forecast over the next 24 hours, but again, there will be warmer weather along with that sunshine as we head later in the week. But for today and tomorrow, we're going to be stuck with that fog, with temperatures in the 20s today, upper 20s to near 30, and then down into the teens tonight. A little cooler tomorrow. We'll start off with morning fog, and then we should burn that off with temps in the mid-20s. But then we bump it up into the mid-30s on Wednesday. I think we'll see a little sunshine later in the day tomorrow, but a better chance for sun on Wednesday with mid-30s. And then to end the week, we're looking at temps right around 30 for both Thursday and Friday. Even into the weekend, we're going to remain with above normal temperatures, 20s to right around 30 degrees. I had a couple emails asking about our next LRC storm. And the LRC calendar did have something pegged for us at the end of the week and into the weekend. It looks like that system is going to glide to our south, though, as high pressure builds in. So unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever way you want to look at it, that system will miss us. And then starting next week, I do believe we're going to we kiss these above normal temps goodbye. We're going to tap Arctic air starting next week, and we'll probably see a few clipper systems along with that Arctic air. Now, kind of like we had last month, where you don't get a lot of snow, but you get a lot of wind and cold. So, and we had a couple of blizzard warnings issued last in December from those clipper systems. I see something similar to that coming our way later next week, and basically towards mid-month, about the 15th through the 23rd. We could easily have a repeat of what we had in December when we had those fast-moving clipper systems along with wind as well. So let's keep that in the back of your mind if you have any travel plans. That looks to be the case as colder, wintry weather. But further down the road, Bridgette, February looks like a pretty stormy month. The rest of this month, I don't see any big storms in our area. But again, like I said, you get these clipper systems with wind, that could pose a big, big problem in terms of reduced visibility and near blizzard conditions. But in terms of big storms, I do believe February looks to be a stormier than normal month. And then it looks like March and especially April will start a quick warm up in mid to late March. April looks warm. I don't see a whole lot of snow, according to the LRC, in the month of April around here. So that would be a nice little change, and maybe an early start to spring as well. So if you're sick of the cold, you have that to look forward to.
And if we would, I mean, having some warmer weather in April just gets our ground to warm up a little bit more. We have the opportunity to maybe get in the field a little bit sooner because everybody likes to have an early planted field. But let's see what that looks like. Just because you said it's stormier doesn't necessarily it's going to lead to a lot of precip, right? That can be a variable that we don't know what it looks like quite yet, at least until those models get a little bit closer.
Yes, exactly. And let's see, we got Addison was in my ear there. Are we going to do our qualifier? You said third segment, right? Okay.
We'll do that a little bit later. And so, for folks who are wondering, today is the day that we kick off here on WDAY our Vegas qualifier for a Valentine's Day getaway. Now, we are giving away a trip. This will be given away on February 2nd, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a Monday night. And we will be doing that at Kingpins. This promotion is brought to you by All Soccer Meats as well as Kingpins. And every day in this hour until we get up to February 2nd, you have the opportunity to go ahead and give us a call. We will do that again a little bit later after we do our news today. And you'll be able to call in if your name is called. We'll announce it. If your name is called because you registered on our website for the Vegas giveaway, that means that you have 10 minutes and 10 seconds, 11, thank you, 11 minutes basically to call us. And so we want to make sure that you get the opportunity to qualify for this trip. It is a trip to Vegas that includes airfare as well as hotel and tickets to see the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere. So I think that's a worthwhile promotion. You need to take the time, though, to go to WDAYradionow.com and make sure that you register, put your name and information in so that we can call your name one day during our radio show segment here on WDAY. We'd love for it to be you.
And what a trip. I mean, that I've heard really good things about the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere down there. So it's supposed to be incredible.
Yeah, and we've done these before. We did one last year to see the Eagles, and for folks who have attended, they find that this has been just a great opportunity for a little winter weekend getaway, and this will be right in time for Valentine's Day. So pay attention when we call your name later today. You're going to want to be that qualifier who has 11 minutes to get to us. Well, also, while you're paying attention today, you might be watching us on our live streams. Those are thoughtfully brought to us by Lighthouse Commodities. And you can find us on Acres TV, YouTube, as well as Facebook. If you have questions or comments, you can certainly drop them to us there. We do see them. Other places that you can reach us, our inboxes powered by Superior Grain Equipment. So protect your farm's future with Superior Grain Storage, Drying, and Handling. And you can email me, ag@flagfamily.com. Dean is weather@flagfamily.com. And road reports are vitally important to what everybody else is doing out on the road today. We would really appreciate if you're driving, give us a call. Let us know what the conditions are like. My understanding is northern Highway 18 in Cass County up to Hillsborough was wet, but not icy today. That may change over throughout the day, as Dean said, especially as the sun goes down. And you can always call us on the JLA Insurance phone line, which is 701-293-9000. If that's not enough, we're still looking for interns for the new year. Thank you to Cass County Farm Bureau for supporting one of their pillars of ag education. And by that, they support us with our assistant ag director. We've got someone new coming in for January. You get the opportunity as a high school student, as a sophomore age to a sophomore in college, to spend a day with Dean and I doing this show, whether it's answering questions on headlines or interviewing guests and so much more. So lots to see and do on a day like today. And we're going to get started with some of that after we return from the American Livestock Markets update. American Ag Network Livestock Market. And we're going to do that market update when we come back. We're going to start one of our first new segments for the new year. And this will be done with landmark companies. Who is it and what's going to happen with drainage? That's why they're here to tell us. So we'll be back with Blake after this. And it's a new year with new segments. And the first segment we're going to introduce is going to be the drainage difference with landmark companies. Blake Sunde is joining us today in studio to give a little bit of a kickoff and introduction. So, Blake, I hope it was not a slippery, frosty drive for you to get to the studio today.
No, not too bad. The roads are pretty wet, actually.
That's not a bad thing, is it?
No, we'll take it.
Tell us about the landmark companies. I don't, drainage is a big deal, but I think people should just know a little bit more of the background of you.
Yeah, so we started in the drainage industry in 2012 in the Red River Valley. We go basically Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota. Um, in about 2016, we branched off into directional drilling, which we still do to this day. We do a lot of renewable energy, wind farm, solar farm, utility like water, sewer, directional drilling, stuff like that. And then we also have construction roll-offs around town here. But our bread and butter is the agricultural drain tile industry.
All right, let's walk through that process for farmers. I mean, where do they start with you? Do they have to bring their maps and plans? Do you build them with the farmer as to what they're going to be doing on field for the drain tile? And where do we start with it?
Yeah, so I mean, if they reach out to the office and get a hold of us or talk to one of our salesmen that's already been out there, the typical process would be, we get the legals from the farmer. We're looking at this section, this township, the southeast quarter of it. Once we get all that information, we pull LiDAR data off the internet that gives us the surface elevations and stuff like that. The farmer will tell us, a lot of times what his main concerns are, and then we'll do our homework on our end of, what we think his spacing should be based off of his soil types, what his depth should be of the drain tile based off of the soil types, and then, the whether he needs sock or narrow slot or regular slot pipe. So for people that don't know that, a regular slot pipe would be a little bit bigger of a slot, but sand can get into it. In the recent years, they came out with narrow slot that's much smaller of a slit that sand can't get into, but I wouldn't recommend putting it in, really high water table beach type sand. I would recommend then switching to a sock, which is literally a filter on the outside of the pipe. Once we get all that information gathered, we design the plan in-house, and then we put a price to it, and then the salesman will typically come out and go over it with the farmer, show him what we came up with, and then he can pick and choose whether he wants to add to the plan, subtract from the plan, or if he just likes it and wants to go with it.
When you mentioned the pipe and you were talking about, what the slot would be on it, etc. For a lot of folks, they might think of it, drain tile, as actual metal pipe, but it's really not. It's more of a plasticized, I almost think it looks like culvert ribbing on it, etc. And then, so can you kind of describe, the diameter that people would be using, and talk about the sock, because I always found that interesting that it really does have a sock on it.
Yeah, so drain tile is HDPE plastic. It's a corrugated plastic pipe that they make out of a resin and run it through a machine to form it. The sizes that we typically use are, so if you want to talk about your mains in the system, anywhere from 36 inch or bigger. You don't get that big that often, but 36-inch diameter pipe, dual wall at that point. So for people that don't know, a dual wall pipe means that the interior of the pipe is completely smooth versus the corrugations on the outside. A single wall pipe would be, the corrugations would be on the inside and the outside of the pipe. So you get a lot more flow from a dual wall smooth interior pipe. So 36-inch down to 8-inch is what we consider to be a main pipe. And then your laterals that would hook into that, which would be the majority of the footage out in your project, would be anywhere from 4 to 6 inch. 4 inch is the smallest we install.
Who makes that determination for you on the size of the pipe, etc.? Is that a formula that you do with the farmer, or it just where do you arrive at that decision-making process?
Yeah, so just like you said, it's a decision made with the farmer based off the farmer's needs. For instance, um, in a high water table sand application where water can really flow through the soil fast, and the farmer is going to grow potatoes on it. They do not like water. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
want to do a half-inch drainage coefficient is what we would recommend. So for the half-inch drainage coefficient, to explain it, is basically that we're going to design our system mathematically based off of pipe size and the amount of grade on the pipes to flow or remove a half inch of rainwater in a 24-hour period.
Okay.
So,
Half inch of water,
yeah,
24 hours. I'm making notes.
yeah, correct. So, and then like your average system would usually be installed on a 3/8 drainage coefficient, and then the low end would be a 1/4 inch. For a really, really, really heavy soil, sometimes your water can't flow through the soil fast enough to get to the pipes, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes that 1/4 inch is sufficient for that application.
This might be an unusual question that just occurred to me, but if you have someone who's got a field that's already got irrigation on it, um, overhead irrigation, can that also be tiled at the same time, or is that ground generally sandy enough where you wouldn't have to worry about tiling based on what Mother Nature does for you?
That is a very interesting question, and I always tell people that farmer has the absolute best of both worlds. He can handle the 3-inch rainfall when it comes. He can remove that water with his tile, and then, in the month that Dean doesn't give us any rain, he can put the
Mm-hmm.
water. He can put the water on when he needs it.
Interesting.
And where? Yeah, and where they need it would be great.
Exactly. I mean, we've designed systems where our tile system will actually feed the irrigators the water they need when it's available,
Hmm.
and takes some pressure off their wells.
I think that's going to be a topic of one of our discussions because we're going to meet the next Mondays through April. And that's probably something that is a little bit new to those who might be listening, is using that tile water to re-irrigate the field, if you will. And I think there's a lot of discussion around that and water quality, etc. But I like that idea of how you don't just let it run down the ditch, you might say, but that you can find a way to really benefit from it in the long run. So that's a whole conversation in itself, most likely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. The farmers that we're doing it with, they really, really like it.
So, Blake, as you think about landmark companies and all of the things that you do, when folks are interested in talking to you, let's see, about the directional drilling, talking about wind and solar farms, construction roll off, construction dumpster roll offs, so many aspects of what Landmark does, where do they start trying to track you down? And how would they start to have some conversations with you?
They can call our office at 218-284-2936. Otherwise, our website at www.landmarkteams.com. And they can request services on there, and that'll get to the appropriate department to get in contact with them.
You guys, like you said, you've been in the drainage business in this area since 2012, I believe it was.
Correct.
So you've got some experience. You know how we need to handle these Red River Valley soils and further out from the valley. So it's not like you're limited geographically, right? You guys can go pretty much anywhere across our listening audience.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
That is outstanding. We're going to talk again next Monday with Blake, and we will continue to do that and have a conversation about the drainage difference every Monday through the spring. So maybe when Dean decides what April will look like, it might impact what kind of work Blake is able to get done, and we'll visit more about that. So, Blake, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Blake. And when we come back, we will have, I believe we're going to announce who our qualifier is coming up for after the break. So you'll want to stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
If you have not yet had a chance to sign up, please do for tomorrow's webinar hosted by Tech Support Farm. Chris Sherman is hosting that at 11 o'clock tomorrow. You have the opportunity to listen in to Chris and hear him talk about some of the expertise that he can provide, but also the watch outs that you can be doing. This is a free webinar. This gives you insight into what's going on in the tech world today that specifically affects farm and agribusinesses. Again, that's tomorrow, 11 o'clock. It is a free online webinar. You can find out more information by going to techsupport.farm. Well, we do know that today is a big day at the Coral Laundromat Studio because we're going to kick off those qualifiers for that Vegas giveaway. And now the clock is starting for Scott Schnell of West Fargo. Scott, SCHNELL, Scott Schnell. You have 11 minutes to call us. Let us know it's you so we can make sure to qualify you to go see the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere in Las Vegas. I feel like we should have a sounder or something that says, the Wicked Witch, I'll get you my pretty, or
There
something
you
like
go.
that.
I'm sure
We're not in Kansas anymore.
Addison can whip that up, I'm sure.
Okay, SCHELL, Shell. So we're looking for Scott. As soon as we can get him to call in, that would be great.
Scott, 11 minutes. Actually, it's a little under 11 minutes now, and Addison's got the time countdown. Right?
Yep,
It's true. I do.
Time.
What if I give you guys my name tomorrow?
That might look a little suspicious.
Why so?
I don't think you can qualify.
Why?
Would be one.
Why?
Where do you want me to start?
The beginning.
Well, you got banned from Vegas years ago. So.
Okay, we don't need to bring that up on air. All right.
Oh, okay. I thought that was well known.
That was supposed to stay in Vegas.
Okay. Well, it did. And that's why you're not allowed back.
It only kind of stays in Vegas.
They know
but
my face
The
at the
police
Sphere.
records leave.
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of us that are just not surprised at that discussion point that you made there, Addison. So
You get
sorry
crazy
about
at the
that.
Sphere one time,
Yeah.
and suddenly you've
Time.
got a poster.
So Scott
Happens to the
Shell.
best of
Yeah,
us.
Scott Shell. How much time does Scott have left there, Addison?
We've got 9 minutes, 25 seconds.
All right. So if you know Scott, text him. Say, hey, you got to call in. Hurry up.
And also, I think that it's important for folks to know that, again, you can call us on that phone number. That should stand out for you by now, 701-293-9000. That is the JLA Insurance phone line for this show. And we want to make sure that we hear Scott's qualifying. And again, if there is someone out there that knows Scott, like Dean said, make sure you just give him a little jab. Like, dude, you got to call this number, 701-293-9000. Get on it. So in the meantime, we've got some headlines that are going on. North Dakota Farmers Union is talking about the fact that as the end of 2025 brought the retirement of some tax subsidies and the Affordable Care Act that expired. Without those subsidies, insurance premiums could easily rise by $300 a month for families who are in that earning range of $50,000 to $60,000 a year. That truly will affect a number of farm families. Open enrollment will run through January 15th for health insurance or for health plans that could be available through places like Farm Bureau. But we know that not everyone has a plan in place. Because this has changed, it can detrimentally impact them financially. And we realize that this is a big change for some farm families when it comes to being able to find health coverage. So right now, about 27% of farmers, ranchers, and other ag managers are looking for individual ACA or the Affordable Health Care Act coverage. But because of some of these changes, we're looking at a number of families that will no longer have coverage. Here in North Dakota, again, as I mentioned, North Dakota Farm Bureau is one place that has affordable health plan. There's a number of others. There's an insurance cooperative in Minnesota that would be a fit. I've had several folks reach out about other opportunities as well. So keep that in mind as we see some changes. You may think to yourself that this $199 million that the state of North Dakota is receiving from federal funding for healthcare could affect it, but that's going directly to rural hospitals and clinics in the state. It will not be affecting health insurance plans at an individual level. Now, maybe you need to attend more webinars. I already talked about the one that Chris Sherman has tomorrow about cybersecurity. You can also sign up for one that farmers and ag educators can go to. It's hosted by Farm Commons, a nonprofit in Minnesota, and with the support of their professional development grants and so forth, they want to help expand your legal education initiatives when it comes to the farm and agribusiness. So they've developed this training model that empowers ag educators to guide farmers through legal actions and might be common in their area. This project is piloted in this north central region, has really laid a foundation for a nationwide training to be adapted. So if you are thinking about the fact that maybe I need to have a little bit more information when it comes to some of the legal entities that are out there, maybe you're negotiating contracts on solar, wind, cell phone towers, all that, this could be a webinar that would be a good fit for you. You are welcome to send me an email, ag@flagfamily.com, and I will share that link with you so that you could register for that as well. We're still waiting for Scott to call, Dean.
Yeah, Scott, you've got about 5.5 minutes left, according to Addison. Again, Scott Shell, 701-293-9000 to qualify for that wonderful trip out to Vegas at the Sphere, where you get to see the Wizard of Oz. A great trip, absolutely fantastic trip.
My understanding, and unfortunately, I don't know that I have quite the details in front of me. Maybe Addison's got them. First step, so you got to go out and register at WDAY, our website. Okay, first things first. But additionally, that you have the chance for airfare, hotel, the tickets to the Spheres to see the Wizard of Oz, and all of this is brought to you by Kingpins as well as All Saga Meats. Maybe there'll be more things added as that we get closer to the giveaway date of February 2nd.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. How many qualifiers are going to be thrown in here? Do you know, Bridgette, offhand?
Well, we're weather and ag, not weather and math.
I know. I didn't mean to throw you that curveball. Addison.
Yeah.
Let's see if Addison's been doing a little research.
Whoa.
Okay. So just on WDAY, we're getting 4 a day.
Okay.
So, and then we're also using the flag, and there's another 3 on the flag.
Okay.
So frankly, we can all do the math from there based on how many days we're going to qualify. So pretty good chances, really.
Not bad. But again, you can't win unless you enter, and you have to go to our website for that, WDAYradionow.com, to register for that Vegas trip. And Scott Shell has how much time left there, Addison?
4 minutes exactly. 4 minutes. 3 minutes 59, 58.
Okay.
7.
Come on, Scott. Hurry up, buddy.
It's ticking.
I like the fact that he took the time to go to register on the website. Now we just need him to follow up on getting qualified by calling us.
Exactly.
Now, also realize that here in the U.S., that school milk guidelines changed back in 2010, and it was a really dramatic ripple, not only in what kids were eating, but then also in the dairy industry, because whole milk was removed from menus back in 2010. And so if kids were not drinking skim milk at home, they weren't going to drink it at school. That change in the dietary guidelines for schools reduced student milk consumption by 77% after those went into place. That's a lot of kids not drinking milk anymore. So the change in that, bringing milk back into the schools, which is being done through the passage of the Whole Milk for Healthy Kids Act, really has the opportunity to supply whole milk to about 25,000 schools across the U.S. And that brings more folks back to drinking milk on a regular basis. The American Farm Bureau Association actually estimates that this shift could divert about 66 million pounds of butter, which is 3% of U.S. milk production, into milk. So a 3% shift where we would have more people drinking milk. Side note, we're already eating more butter, so why not drink more milk?
Right. Now, do you think, is there any rhyme or reason behind that? Is it because there's more kids now that are lactose intolerant, or any rhyme or reason?
Those dietary guidelines were made back in the Obama administration about the same time that kids were told that they only needed 3 ounces of protein in a lunch portion. So I'd like you to all envision a 3-ounce sized hamburger. I mean, that's smaller than the palm of my hand. And I'm all for right-sized eating, right? Portion control is a really good thing. But when we have young minds and bodies developing, they still need milk for brain development, and they still need protein just to fuel their overall bodily growth. And so I hope we are being smarter about how we feed everyone and making sure that these items are well considered on their menu plan when we're talking whole milk, healthy fats like butter, and more. Boy, Scott's time clock is ticking down. I hope he decides to call in soon.
Addison,
Horrible news. 1 minute, 20 seconds.
hurry up. Scott Shell, you got to call us to qualify for that trip to Vegas, 701-293-9000. Scott, you got less than a minute. Hurry up.
Yep. Well, maybe he will call in the next few minutes, and when we return, we'll have good news for the rest of the listeners that we got Scott qualified, but we'll see if he does, and we'll be back.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. And time has run out for Scott Shell. Sorry, Scott. We'll have another qualifier, though, on our show tomorrow. So be sure to be listening or have somebody listen for you. Let's say you're at work or something and you can't have us on at work. Shame on that place. But make sure you have somebody listening for you. And again, to qualify, go to our website, WDAYradionow.com, to register for that great trip out to Vegas. Now, a lot of fog out there. In fact, dense fog advisories. Generally, let's say Rugby to Jamestown to Lisbon and points east of that. We're obviously seeing some pretty dense fog here in the FM area. Also, a little light freezing mist in the far northeastern corner of the state and into northwest Minnesota. And in our area, we're going to continue with this freezing fog, and as temperatures slide off after sunset, that fog is going to continue through the overnight hours, and with temperatures dropping off into the 20s and teens overnight, we're going to be seeing some freezing fog as well. So watch some of those roadways, on-ramps, off-ramps. You know the drill, bridges and overpasses as well. If you have any travel plans going down to the cities, there is going to be a storm system that will be sliding to our south. It's going to come in a couple of pieces, so that is going to affect areas around the Twin Cities with freezing rain and sleet and maybe a little snow mixed in. So winter weather advisories are in effect down by the cities. Again, if you have any travel plans going down that way, expect to run into some wintry weather over the next couple of days. But for us, we're just going to be dealing with the fog, the freezing fog. There will be some slippery travel overnight tonight as those temperatures slide back. But other than that, I'm really not seeing any big storms on the horizon, Bridgette. I was talking to Blake, our guest from earlier, and he does snow removal. And I said, how is it this year compared to last? He's like, it's not even close. We're way ahead of last year, which is, even though we are about 7.5 inches below normal on snowfall, these clipper systems that bring the wind and, you know, these minor snow events, that's enough to keep things busy. And it looks like next week, as we head towards the middle of the month, later next week, we're going to start getting into a little more active pattern where we're going to see not only Arctic air pouring in here, but we'll see a few more of these clipper systems as well. As they usher in the Arctic air, we'll see these bouts of snow, light snow at that. But I don't see any big storms on the horizon for the next couple of weeks. In fact, not until that first week in February. That's when the LRC has a potential for a larger storm system coming our way in early February. February looks pretty active. March looks pretty active. Not as active as February, but there's going to be a couple of stormy stretches in there. And then April looks like we make a quick turn into spring. I wouldn't be surprised if we have very limited snowfall in the month of April, Bridgette. So for all those spring lovers, hang tight. You know, I know we're just starting winter technically, so let's have our winter fun, and then how about a quick start to spring in April? How's that sound?
I don't think anybody's going to be disappointed to see some of those things change.
Right.
Now, remember, Addison, a quick start to spring might just mean that we get more sunshine and only slightly warmer temperatures.
Yeah, but it means we're one step closer to all the bugs coming back.
Yes, they will. Sorry. And there might be more than usual.
Quit complaining.
Now.
Oh, I'm complaining. All right.
Something that will be more than usual starts every Monday for a little while here. We're going to do a giveaway by 3M. 3M was kind enough that when we got ready for our WDAY Ag Farm Show special back in November, they sent a number of items that are safety items for farms that they wanted us to share with you, our listeners. So we're going to start out by kicking off a gift bag of 3M safety supplies today. Addison's going to help me out by making sure to put some things together and getting them to Mariana at the front desk for us so that when Those giveaways are downstairs, and you have one. You can come in and get them from her. Now, if we're ready, I think we're just going to use caller number 3 to start out today because it's 3M's giveaway. So how about caller number 3? We're going to put in a safety gift package for you. Again, this is something that's specifically designed for farms. You're going to have safety vests and goggles, etc. And so if this is something that you can use on your farm, we'll go to caller number 3. So, guys, who's taking that one?
Addison, why don't you take caller number 3 there? You want to take it or you want me to take it? I'll take it. All right. So let's see. Caller number 1. Sorry, try again. Caller number 2. Sorry, try again. And who do we have on the line here? Bob, congratulations. You're caller number 3, Bob.
Awesome, outstanding.
Good deal. Well, hey, did you register for our Vegas giveaway?
I did. I registered about 25 minutes ago.
Okay.
Online, actually. So
Good deal, Bob. All right. Well, we're going to put you on hold here. Addison will get all the information needed, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks.
Excellent. Thanks, Bob. All right. So
Well,
congrats to Bob.
If Bob just registered, since we were not really doing math here earlier, he still has lots of chances
Yes.
to win between now and February 2nd. And I believe on February 2nd, people have to be present in order to win that night.
Correct.
If you qualify on air, you have registered online, qualified on air with us, then you have to be present on February 2nd in order to be able to win that prize.
Correct. And hey, I mean, like I said, all month long. So you got plenty of chances to win. And you can't win if you don't enter. Log on, WDAYradionow.com, and register for that wonderful, wonderful trip to Vegas. Can they bring one of us, Bridgette? Is there anything in the rules against that?
You just have to make sure they like you.
Okay.
That's all it takes.
Okay. Good deal.
And they have to choose you.
Well,
So that can be them.
if we can forecast an early spring, maybe we'll get some more likes.
You'll have all sorts of new fans.
There you go. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us today on Weather and Ag in Focus. For Bridgette and myself, go out and have yourself a wonderful day. Watch that fog and watch that freezing fog after sunset. Don't go anywhere, though. The Jay Thomas Show, that's coming up next.